What's up, everyone? Well, I'm back again, and I'm I'm doing a remake of the first episode of What I Gotta Save For. And today, I decided to remake the video talking about steampunk instead. I wanted to start it off that way, but I pretty much had no choice to start off that way. And uh, and because something was wrong with the other video, something was wrong with the other video with the running time. The running time was only 1 minute, and at first it was only for 11 minutes, but they somehow changed it to 1 minute, and I have to remake the video. But I won't get to what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do with the next video that's coming today, pretty much later today, because that'll be the last video before I go out of town, and I won't do another video until I come back, which when I come back, and it will be on the 21st or the 22nd. I'll do that video. Maybe I probably said it too early. I screwed it, but I'm just going to move on. Any, Anyways, what I'm going to talk about today is steampunk. And the steampunk genre is a really good genre. A lot of people don't hardly know about the steampunk genre. I only looked at the steampunk. The first steampunk that I looked at was back in 2016 when I saw Full Metal Alchemist in the movie. That was the first steampunk I saw. And the other steampunk anime I saw was a year after that. It was called Code Realize. It took place after World War One or during World War One in London. And I pretty much didn't pay attention to steampunk that much at the time. But until last year, almost last year, around April, I started to pay attention to steampunk more because I want to get into it more, to learn about it more. So I started off with clockpunk, then I went to steampunk to look at the stuff they had for it. I started to look at the Google images for it, for the steampunk and stuff like that. And it's based, and for coming months, for months later, around August or October, I started to look at the airships for steampunk cities, which were kind of amazing to me. I found interesting, and a lot, and there's hardly no movies on steampunk for some reason. I don't know why. And there's only a few movies, like The Wild Wild West, Mortal Engines, which I'm not into. Uh, and what else movie? I forgot. Uh, I forgot the other one. Uh, anyways, there was steampunk robots too. There were steampunk machines, robots. They have a different set of robots. Too bad I can't show them on here how they look, because I don't know how to do that yet still. Because in most videos I see, they show the image of it. They show the image of it, but I really don't know how to do that yet. Hopefully I do that soon, so you can get what I'm talking about and stuff like that. Uh, anyways, Like there was these like and steampunk comes in fantasy as well. There's this fantasy steampunk, and fantasy steampunk is like they do magic spells and steampunk and all of that, and like these fancy tech. And and there's and they have like fantasy vehicle. They have these steampunk vehicles too, as well. And I started, and in November I started looking at steampunk fairs, mostly steampunk fairs and all of that. And I saw the different people wearing the steampunk clothes and stuff like that, and steampunk like cyborg like hands, steampunk dress, steampunk goggles, and steampunk hats, pretty much. Even I found like a few black people in that is in wearing steampunk clothes as well, which I caught a big surprise because most black people don't even know what steampunk is. Most of them don't even know what steampunk is at all. I know them pretty well. Most of the time, they probably going to look at some like Avengers or just look at the Hood movies. That's pretty much it for them. But there was a few black people in that. Uh, like there was like this steampunk Gatling gun that this guy had a cosplay in, and they had this in like Tokyo as well. They had one of the videos in Tokyo. Like they have a steampunk scorpion. They were like wearing all steampunk clothes and cosplay, and they had an amazing looking cosplay too. And I looked at other videos of fairs, like, but most of these steampunk fairs take place somewhere in like England, London, England, or like in Arizona or Boston. That's the only places they take place as, but not other cities in the U.S. like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Atlanta. They're not really over there. They're in like places. They're in places that most people don't even look at all. They don't focus on those cities. Then there's these steampunk short films. I've seen them all. Uh, I've seen all the short films of steampunk around November and December. And I forgot about to finish the steampunk movie, the steampunk short film that I saw in January and February. Still trying to finish the video, and hopefully, probably when I'm out of town or after I come out of town, I probably like finish the video. If not, it'll probably be May until I finish it, or the summer. Then there's this like there's the steampunk music as well. The steam and I listen to the steampunk music, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty epic. I listen to it like sometimes. I don't listen to it all the time. But at first, I used to listen most of the time. But as months went on, I started listening to sometimes. And 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 in the future, I'm planning to look at more steampunk shows because there's some are out there, and steampunk anime as well. There's some of them, some of those anime are out there. I have them planned. I'm looking at it in the summer of 2022. What else? It's acting up. And I'll give you what I should have did in the beginning video. I'll give you a brief history of steampunk. Steampunk, this all the steampunk goes back to the 80s when this guy wrote like this book starring starting like this steampunk stuff, and it continued to like the 90s and the 2000s. Steampunk was mentioned a lot, and a lot of people mentioned like a lot of people and stuff like that. In the Victorian era, which is like the 19th century, like they grabbed this. What if they had this in the 19th century, like like technology and this technology, and just turn it into something. That's basically what steampunk pretty much is. And I pretty found that very interesting. That's that's why I'm proud why I'm on it. And I'm probably the one of the few black people who even look at steampunk. And because a lot of people at my high school don't know what it is at all, they never mentions it and stuff like that. They're mostly on Avengers, some like Avengers or Hood movies. That's all they pretty much know. Well, I think that's it. I'll do the next video like later in the afternoon, but I don't know what that video is going to be about. I really don't know. So I'll have to decide. Uh, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Write, post videos 3 days, 4 days, and sometimes a week. And subscribe.